Welcome back to the Reliest Reviews. Today's review is focused on Netflix original documentary entitled Crime Scene: The Times Square Killer. And the official synopsis of the Times Square Killer is: in 1970s New York City, the torso killer preys on women to fulfill his grotesque fantasies while eluding police. A docuseries dive into crime's darkest places. And before I give out my review, please like and subscribe and comment and tell me what I should review next. As this documentary focuses on two different things. It focuses on how very wild the 1970s Times Square was and this psychotic serial killer on the loose and everything. I would say the first things that I enjoyed about this documentary were the interviews, as many different people were interviewed throughout this entire documentary, from crime reporters, investigators, people that even worked on the case, some people that even knew the serial killer, victims of the family members that were killed by this psychotic individual, and as well as just many other interviews as well. I felt like many of the interviews were really good, very informative, and it just shows you just how some people are just really crazy, and how some people really don't deserve life and everything else. This documentary also does a good job of just showing and just explaining how very crazy the Times Square in 1970s New York City was and everything, with all of just the different sex shops, how people could fulfill their kinks, their pleasures that they want without getting into any type of trouble, and how little it cost as well. Like, it is really crazy with just how much Times Square has evolved over the last 30 to 40 years and everything. Like, it is very unrecognizable now in 2021 with all of the shops, all of the places, and how how touristic it is, with many people from all around the world just coming to visit just to see how crazy this place is. This documentary definitely does have a lot of just video archival footage from the 1970s, and the way that it is used in this documentary works, as it just helped me just get into the feels of how it may have been to live in 1970s New York, and just how this psychotic killer was on the loose and everything. And when it comes to the serial killer, there was definitely a lot of just horror elements that I felt was added into this documentary, as they don't show the bodies of the victims, of course, but the way that the bodies were described and everything, how they were founded by the police, was just very disturbing and just sickening in a way, with some of the bodies being discovered with no heads, missing body parts. Like, it was just all sick and everything else. And thankfully, the serial killer was caught and everything, and face he did face deed for all of the crimes that he committed. But the saddest thing is that this man is still responsible for over like 100 crimes that have still not been solved and everything. And police are still working on trying to solve any other cases that this man may have been responsible for and everything else. But out of all, I felt like Crime Scene: The Times Square Killer was a really good documentary. It just shows you with just how very psychotic people can be nowadays, and just how Times Square has evolved to what it is now, and how I would rate this documentary out of 5 stars. I would probably rate this documentary maybe 4.5 stars out of 5. So thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.